All right, good morning everyone. Great to see you here. I must say the US Ag Trade media have to be the most punctual set of journalists ever. Thanks for joining us. It's nice and early on the first day here of the Commodity Classic. My name is Paul Ray. I'm the Senior Vice President for BASF Ag Products North America. And today what we'd like to do is talk about the ever-changing, very dynamic world of agriculture and what BASF is doing to help farmers make better decisions so they can improve their productivity overall. So today you're going to hear a lot about a new tool we'll be launching. This will be the global launch for BASF, and you're seeing it firsthand here today at Commodity Classic 2016. I'd like to start with a short safety moment. We're in a new venue. There's lots of new walkways here, so please mind your steps. There's lots of equipment and tools around here, so as you move around the site taking photos, please take care and look where you're walking. I'm joined here at the front with a few experts. They're going to help me convey the information we have here today. And first of all, I'd like to introduce Dr. Bruce Erickson, who's from Purdue University. Dr. Bruce Erickson is considered an expert in precision agriculture. Some of you may be familiar with him. And he'll really share with us how precision agriculture is really and has and will continue to change the face of agriculture. Also joined over on the right-hand side there by Scott Kay. You know Scott, he's our Vice President for our US crop business located in Raleigh. And Scott will really make the connection between technology and our Grow Smart approach to helping growers get the most out of every acre. Also very fortunate to have a farmer here today, Ben Moore from State Line Precision Farms in Indiana. Ben has had the benefit of working with BASF for a few years and has seen the tool we're going to share with you up close and personal. And he's also joined on his left-hand side by our innovation specialist from BASF, Neil Doherty, who works very closely with Ben on an annual basis to help plan and improve his productivity at State Line Precision Farms. So with that, I'd like to get underway. And as we know, farming is dynamic and complex, and it requires farmers and retailer advisors to really manage a complex set of decisions on an annual basis. It really requires them to interpret a wide range of farm and field data. And BASF has a long history of helping farmers manage that complexity and help them to get the most out of every acre. And as we move forward, we're pleased today to launch our new tool, Maglis, which will help them make better decisions and improve the productivity of their crops. So first, I would like to hear from Dr. Erickson to really help provide some background on the growing importance of Ag IT and agriculture. So, Dr. Bruce, over to you.
Thanks very much. I'd like to provide just a bit of context for today's discussion, and I'm the Agronomy Education Director at Purdue University. So we really feel that precision agriculture in just a few years will become just agriculture as we adopt a lot of these technologies, as the automated technologies have become pretty much mainstream in agriculture. So just a bit of context as to where we have been. In terms of precision farming, we started into this current era of precision agriculture back about 20 years ago. And at that time we started with some data-dependent and field position-dependent technologies that you can see here that were soil mapping, yield monitoring, and those types of things that were somewhat difficult to understand and interpret. Within a short period of time, we had the introduction of guidance and section controllers. These were much easier to adopt, and these have been very readily adopted by farmers. We feel in the future we have some tools now to allow us to go back and fully realize the benefits of these technologies here to the right. I'm the primary author of the Crop Life Purdue survey, and we've been doing this survey that entire time period since the mid-1990s. And just a little substantiating information from that particular survey. And not only do we have the thumbnail sketch in Crop Life, but we publish a full review on the Center for Food and Agribusiness website, so you can find all of that information there. A couple of highlights from that survey. If you take a look at that grouping of technologies that I talked about, those that are data dependent and position dependent, and those that are just position dependent, then you can see the contrast. There's a lot of information here, but I've highlighted a couple of lines. This just goes back to about 10 years, and you can see the rapid adoption of guidance technologies and section controllers, automated types of technologies, as opposed to the less rapid adoption and uncertainty sometimes with the data-dependent technologies of variable rate technology, remote sensing, and grid soil sampling and those types of things. The heavy red dotted line here represents grid or zone soil sampling. Variable rate technology would roughly follow that same general trend. You can see that it's been up and down over the years, but we can also see an uptick here in recent years. And the 2018 is obviously the predicted in the future type of information. Some accessory technologies that have happened in the last 20 years that we feel are going to really enable the adoption of IT and this more data-dependent world in agriculture. Computer processing. Multiple times faster now than it was 20 years ago. We have much better sensors. We have cloud storage that we didn't have 20 years ago. Cell phones were just coming into play, and of course we didn't have telematics to move all this information around. So we can store it and move it and process it much better than we could 20 years ago. Again, enabling what we feel is this other type of future here. Functional soils maps are being developed that we found that current NRCS maps don't provide the spatial density that we need to make the decisions. High resolution imagery and spatially dense soil sampling, a number of technologies are coming along. What we still need though with all of this is a lot of research to put together the answers to what we need, because we need the knowledge then to make the decisions to drive the things that are going to cause this to happen. Just a few parting comments. Technology adoption isn't always straightforward. You've maybe seen this graphic before. Hybrid corn was invented about 1900, but the typical farmer, you can see the years across here and for various states, didn't adopt that technology until about 30 years later. Another example. Whoops. My own great-grandfather was still farming with horses in the 1940s. This is the tractor that he bought in 1949, and he traded it in for a team of red sorrel horses, okay? Just prior to my lifetime. And so I don't think my family was too far out of date. But anyway, tractors were invented in the late 1800s, and it took them until that time period in order to adopt this. Another point going forward is that IT technologies are not necessarily scale dependent like many of our machinery technologies. I was on a 300,000 acre Brazil sugarcane farm a couple of years ago that was successfully using precision farming. And I was also on about a 300 acre Netherlands farm that was successfully using precision farming that same year. Both very successful in their adoption. An accessory thing that we also need for precision farming is to make sure that we have an informed workforce in order to make this happen. Some survey work that we recently accomplished showed that many of the skills that are needed in precision farming are deficient with retailers interviewing the positions that they're trying to fill in recent years. So we'll also need an informed workforce to make all of this happen. So again, a great opportunity in data-dependent agriculture. The technology is in place and processing and moving and storage. We just now need to figure out the interactions and the knowledge, and those decisions need to then make a change on our farms.
So thank you, Dr. Erickson. And for me, the takeaways there were knowledge and decision making. And that really connects very nicely with where we see our role within the ag IT space. Our vision is to really be at the intersection of where technology, data, and people meet. Farmers have lots of information. There's lots of good technology out there that they could use to improve their productivity. But you need the data, and you need all of that combined so you can make really good decisions for their cropping system. And that's where we see with our Maglis tool that we can really play a role to help farmers make better decisions. And so with that, we really are here today to talk about Maglis, and you'll see more of it in a moment. But we really want Maglis to be the farmer's smartest connection. And that not only means the tool itself, but also combining the very best we have with our products and our knowledge and the farmers' knowledge of their own farming system to improve their productivity overall. We believe by combining those together, we can unlock even more yield potential for farmers right around the country. So let's take a quick look at what Maglis looks like.
Farming is a dynamic and challenging business with constantly changing demands. For many years, BASF has helped you meet them with innovative solutions in crop protection. Now we're bringing you added support with Maglis, the agricultural hub that connects technology, data, and people in a smarter way. All in one place, online. Designed with farmers and experts for farmers in the agricultural community, Maglis goes beyond crop protection to give you the tools you need for better informed decision making on the farm. Maglis helps you grow smarter so you can make more precise and timely decisions, minimize risk, and increase yield sustainably. It helps you market smarter so you can meet market demands, increase efficiency and productivity, and optimize returns. And it helps you live smarter by putting you in touch with like-minded people, other farmers, experts, and industry partners to share knowledge and build professional networks. Maglis is easy to use, intuitive, and secure. And because it works on a range of devices, it's always there when you need it. Maglis. Connect smarter.
BASF. We create chemistry.
So what you've just seen there is an overview of our global intent with Maglis. It's to roll out a series of tools around the world over the next few years. And shortly you will hear from Scott Kay on the first phase of that rollout here in the United States with a tool that we call Customer Navigator. But what I'd like to do is also share with you a glimpse, an appetizer of what we have going globally here shortly. And we have two tools that we'll be piloting in Canada this year. The first one of those is Crop Plan, Maglis Crop Plan, where we can really customize crop plans to the local farming situation. It's highly convenient and efficient for farmers to manage and monitor in-field decision making. It's very timely. It provides in-season decision support making systems, and also help them better plan their crop and manage their task management. And that tool, as I mentioned, will be available for farmers on a pilot basis in Canada later this year. In addition, we have another tool that we'll also be piloting in Canada called the Maglis Sustainability Assessment. And this is really to help farmers understand what are the decisions they're making and how does that impact their overall productivity and how does that impact the sustainability of their production long term. It really does allow them to challenge their own decision making around various inputs and growing decisions they're making, to really make an assessment ahead of time how they're impacting their overall productivity from a sustainability point of view. And will provide very helpful benchmarks which farmers can compare to as they manage their own production system. So with that though, I'd like to now move on to what we'll see here in the United States. This is a tool that we've worked very collaboratively with growers over the last few years. It's been a great collaboration, I have to say, with customers, both retailers and farmers, to bring us the Maglis Customer Navigator. And Scott, can you talk to us a little bit about how it's going to connect in with our GrowSmart system?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Paul. It's you know, some of you in the audience might be saying, why would BASF be venturing into this? Why is AgT important to you? And it really comes out of the GrowSmart experience that we've had the last 2 years, or the GrowSmart experience our customers have had the last 2 years. And so we stepped back and said, hey, we need to find a way to make it more easily available, the information that we're gathering, that we're collecting, and also to capture that experience that we're sharing with our innovation specialists, our grower customer, and our retailer. How can we do that more efficiently moving forward? So it's absolutely, Paul, about that collaboration and how do we bring that to life. And so, you know, when you start down that path, you want to know, well, are we really bringing a high level of satisfaction in our relationship? And the answer was, you know, overwhelmingly yes. So when we asked growers, what do you think about Grow Smart and how does that work? They said 94% satisfaction rating when they had that interaction. A real testament to the relationship you'll hear between Neil and Ben in just a few minutes. That it really is working. But it's all about how you customize that experience. It's not a one-size-fits-all. We've all seen those sorts of approaches in the marketplace before. And this is about being very precise to the individual, whether it's by field or by farm. The other thing that the key learning is that farmers learn differently. They all don't have the same way of understanding or arriving at a decision. And so that's the other way in which Maglis is really going to connect us to that farming decision, is it's going to afford a way for them to really look at many different ways and challenge each other on how to get there. And last, so when doing that, with that in mind, that farmers learn differently, we've created a hub of information which they can start to choose from and start to plan. And then as we go in season, they can start to react or make new decisions as you go along. So it's not just a stagnant tool, it's something they're going to use throughout the year. So let me just give you an example of how that's going to look.
BASF is always looking for ways to help farmers improve crop management. Maglis Customer Navigator helps BASF sales advisors engage with farmers and guide crop-related discussions easily and naturally in the field. By making up-to-date information about individual farmers instantly available, it helps them prepare for their discussions with farmers better. So sales advisors and farmers can work together more effectively to create farm or field-specific crop plans pre-season. Using the farmer's own data, plans can cover crop growth stages and cropping priorities like yield optimization, risk reduction, and efficiency improvements. Additional agronomic information in the form of videos, photographs, and presentations can be used to support the discussion. And personalized plans and recommendations are emailed to farmers and their preferred retailers as the basis for crop management planning that will help them grow smarter. Maglis. Connect smarter.
It really is all about engagement and how farmers learn and how they utilize those tools together. And I mentioned that collaboration is really important from a customer standpoint. It really is about closing that whole loop, because when you have a plan that's put in place, there's so many other parts of the puzzle that need to have a real understanding of what's needed to make a successful year. And so that's what we're really excited about here with Maglis, is that we increase the engagement between obviously the innovation specialist and the farmer, but now we can also increase that relationship with the retailer so that now they are really communicating, or their custom applicator, or their seed specialist. So you have a lot of different points of connection that I think are invaluable as you go through a season. The other exciting piece is I don't know a farmer that will be here at this convention that doesn't want to be challenged, that doesn't want to think differently and think about how to farm differently. And I think Maglis offers that same approach as well, is that it's not just about putting the plan together, but it's about how can we also think differently? Are there different decisions to be made at each cropping stage? And I think that's the other place where Maglis is really going to help in terms of driving that discussion around how do we navigate new decisions? How do we navigate into places we've never been before? And I think and record those and learn from them and then move forward again. And I think that's going to be the real experience part that we're going to really hear from our two guests here to tell us more about their experience as well. And so, you know, for me, it is about partnering. It's about working together and about doing things differently. And it's about making that connection to that new technology. And so from that point of view, I think we're very excited about Maglis and what it has to offer, and Maglis Navigator, and about building on that technology moving forward. So if I can ask Ben and Neil to come forward here, I'd like to ask you guys a few questions. And just to remind everybody, we have Ben Moore from State Line Precision Farms here with us today in Indiana, and Neil Doherty, our innovation specialist at BASF from Ohio. And what I'm going to do is just ask them a few questions, and we'll hear their answers. And I'm sure when we're done, you may have more questions for them, and we'll welcome that for you guys to ask them more questions as we go. So, first off, Ben, tell us a little about yourself and your operation, just to give the audience some familiarity with your farm and operation.
Good morning. My name is Ben Moore. I farm with my uncle and a area farmer. We started a new operation together a couple years ago, State Line Precision Farms. We are literally on the state line. Our house and buildings is the Indiana side of the state line. Our grain bins are in Ohio. So we are, in some places, a multi-state operation. But it doesn't sound that big. We raise corn, soybeans, wheat. We're farming nearly 7,000 acres between us. And one thing that we noticed a couple years ago is our operation to continue to grow. We've really embraced a team approach, or we've built almost a board of directors, if you will. And that was one of the places where Neil and I have met, and we value trusted relationships with the team.
Very good, thank you. Neil, tell us a little bit about the trusted advisor role that you play on Ben's farm and how that works.
Yeah, so thanks, Scott, and good morning, everyone. So Ben and I have known each other for a number of years over different parts of the ag industry, from seed to crop protection. And over those years, we've built a real partnership and a trust between us, and the knowledge that I can bring to the table and the things that Ben's looking for to continue to move his operation forward. And through that partnership and that relationship over the years, it's allowed me to sit at that table of trusted advisors that Ben has.
Very good. So Ben, we were talking earlier, and you said that ag IT is one of the tools that you can use to be more profitable. Can you explain to us how you see that helping you be more profitable?
We have been early adapters of technology, and we put a lot of value in it. For us, it starts with good quality yield data, because once we have that data, we are creating management zones, and we're farming every field on a micromanagement level. We're a micro field level where we're farming it by zones, and by having good quality data, we feel like we're able to make quality decisions from everything we do, from the fertility, the seeding, the hybrid, the seeding rate of the hybrid, to where we're soil sampling. And that way we can make the most economic and environmental decision for what we think is right for our operation and our landowners.
Very good. You guys were also sharing a situation last year where you had to scramble in the middle of the season. Could you give us some insight into how maybe Maglis Navigator would have helped you react better in season to what Mother Nature was handing you?
Yeah, so last year, the year started out in the planting season. Couldn't have been any better. Got off to a great start, and then shortly into the season, Mother Nature threw us a real curveball and blessed us with an overabundance of water. And through that process, it really changed the outlook of the crop and really what the opportunity was for his yields going forward. So Ben called me, and we had some long discussions about what the next step should be, what the next product should be, and really how we needed to adjust the plan going forward. Last year, we didn't have Maglis as a tool to use to help us in that communication effort and that planning effort. So in the changes that were made in the ultimate plan that we decided to move forward with, we had to then get that to all the other people, his retailer, his other trusted advisors, and it created a lot of extra time and effort on both our parts, where Maglis now will help us bridge that.
Yeah, really, I found that so really curious that it is a team approach to be successful. So that connection between, and Ben stated it too, but my connection with my retailer is really important as we make those new decisions. So Ben, how do you see, so that's the in-season approach, how do you see it in the future? What do you think your operation looks like from an Ag IT perspective in the future?
So going forward, I think Ag IT is going to be a bigger part of our operation. As we get bigger, we realize we can't be everywhere all the time, and we have to involve more people in our team, and communication on that team is a real big deal. And with a tool like Maglis, it will cut down on me possibly making an error and not communicating with the right person. If we have to switch from a product A to a product B, obviously they probably have different use rates, could be applied at different times. We need to make sure that that's done properly so we don't have a costly mistake.
Very good, thank you guys. And my takeaway is that if we can make you more efficient, open up those lines of communication so that you can work as a team to accomplish the goal you set out to accomplish each given year, that Maglis could be a real tool for you for the future and for this year as well. So thank you both for sharing. Thanks. And I'll turn it back to Paul.
Thanks, Scott, Neil, and Ben. So I think you've heard from the people who are in the field and how being more productive, using those collaborations to really use those insights to adjust the cropping plan through the year is really important. And what we've shared with you today is the first phase, what we call Maglis. In the United States, we'll have Customer Navigator here available through our innovation specialist starting this year. And you'll see over here to your left-hand side a series of tablets that you can actually see a demo up close and personal of what it actually looks like and how an innovation specialist and a retailer and a farmer can collaborate together to make better agronomic decisions, have a good record of what they're doing so that they can improve the productivity of their crops. So again, thank you for joining us today, and would now be open to take any questions you may have of any of the speakers.